what's your original sin?
I think my original sin is that...
Welcome to Original Sin, the unapologetic podcast by Glowreel, where brilliant women say the things the old boys club wishes we wouldn't. I'm your host, Shilpa, and I chat with some of Australia's most influential women to dig into the truths, taboos, and untold stories that redefine power, leadership, and womanhood. Before we get into it, a quick shout out to our sponsor, Tread Softly. Season 1 of Original Sin is brought to you by Tread Softly, who are a naturally lighter in alcohol and certified sustainable wine brand. Tread Softly also has an award-winning non-alcoholic range, which is my personal favourite and my go-to for social events. This year, Tread Softly launched the Next Generation Female Winemaker program to support a rising star in the industry and continue to advocate for all types of social responsibility, which we love to see. Head to treadsoftly.com to learn more and to check out the beautiful range of Tread Softly wines. Akec, welcome to Original Sin.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited. I'm really excited to have you in the studio, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your reflections and advice on what it really takes to belong and to lead in a system that wasn't built for you. But first, want to hear more about you and who you are. So, I know you've got such a compelling story from having grown up in a refugee camp to moving to Australia. You became, in 2017, the first African woman to be drafted into the AFLW. You played across 3 teams, so Fremantle, Richmond, Hawthorn, yeah. And you retired in 2023, and now you're a successful speaker and creator who really advocates for diversity and change and really motivates others to dream big, which is something I really love about you. And you're also about to complete your business degree?
Yes.
Yeah? Amazing. Congratulations.
So close.
So close. I love it. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
But, if we go kind of beyond the resume and kind of dig down into the raw truth, can you tell me something that you've never said out loud in an interview before?
Something that was never really said out loud in an interview before is I feel like this next chapter of my life is just called being a little bit selfish, which is not really in my character. I'm not a selfish person. Everything I do is for other people. But what I'm really understanding is it is okay to put yourself first, and that sometimes can be really, to a lot of people, comes off as okay, you're selfish. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the moment. I'm really not saying it out loud, but I'm kind of proud to say it out loud because I think we come from us ethnic community and people from our backgrounds. We come from big families and big communities and big networks. And I think for me, doing that is, especially this year, I've really been practicing and really putting it in action and what that really looks like. And what I've really come across is it's about boundaries and protecting me at the end of the day, because I can't be in 20 places at once. I'm just one girl. And I don't have the position to be able to solve everyone's problem. Some days, man, people are calling me on some crazy stuff and I'm like, I actually don't have the answer for that. But I also just realized that I got to understand what I can win and what I cannot win. Yeah. And then picking that I need to also put a cage first at the end of the day, where I see a lot of people in this industry putting themselves first, and it's working for them. And I was like, let me just trial it for 12 months. I'll see how it goes.
I love that 12-month trial.
It might be cancelled later.
We'll see. I don't know. I feel like you'll love filling your own cup first, right? And it's kind of like when you're on the plane and they say, put your own oxygen mask on first before you put on someone else's, because how can you help someone else if you're not in a good place yourself, right?
100%.
And you're right, it is quite revolutionary coming from an ethnic community to do that, to make that call to go, I'm going to put myself first and, yes, I'll give back and yes, I'll support, but I have to be in a good place to do that first.
100%.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
This is exciting. Yeah.
And it's actually so nice to say it out loud as well. I was kind of feeling like, oh, what is it? I was thinking, I was like, I kind of say a lot of things out loud in ways. But that was nice. It was nice to say it out loud. So you heard it here first.
We appreciate it. And you're manifesting as well, putting it into the universe, be selfish.
Yeah.
The goal for...
And it's not to take away from anything
Yeah.
and anyone. It's
Yeah.
simply just what I have to do because I'm such a selfless individual
Yeah.
who is always trying to solve everyone else's problem. And what I've realized over the years is like, if I was being in a situation where I'm like, I need the same people that I'm pouring so much into, like they're never there for me the same way that I need them to be there for me as well, like the same way that I am there for them. And so I was just like, you know what, I just gotta pull back a little bit. I gotta look after number one, and just take a chill pill for a bit. So yeah, it's kind of what that looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. I feel like we should all take that advice. Take a chill pill. Just do your own thing.
Yeah.
So kind of drawing on how you were saying, you know, it is different coming from an ethnic community, and, you know, you had quite a different upbringing, having grown up in a refugee camp and then coming across to Australia at a young, like preteen age.
Turning 12 that
You were
year.
turning 12.
Yeah.
Yep. Kind of thinking back to, you know, little Akec. If she saw, like if your younger self in Kenya saw you now, what do you think she'd be most proud of? And what do you think would shock her? Do you think being selfish would shock her?
Oh, that's actually such a good question. I think the younger Akec in Kenya would be very proud.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, growing up in Kenya, it was like, I always explain to people, you know, when you grow up in a refugee camp with not much, you are, you know, all the opportunities that were given to us, like we had the UNHCR and all these like NGOs that we see all over the place now. Those NGOs were actually contributing to my family and myself and others in the community. And they were the only places that we could go and have, you know, schools. They set up, you know, schools that, you know, gave us the ability to just have dreams and to have hope. And I think that hope really has, even to today, my outlook on life is I just like, you know, when something goes wrong, I'm just always trying to be optimistic and trying to look at the other side instead of being stuck in the, oh no, things are going bad, and just trying to be positive all the time. And those are the layers that living in a refugee camp teaches you, and so I come to this country. My mom, a single mom, put together our life stories and got through all the visas just to bring us to, you know, greener pasture, to bring us to Australia that was promising new opportunities for us. And what we were able to do was, I just saw that. I was like, wow, like I get to come here, go to school. I discovered sports. And I was just like, my goodness, like I have to make something of this. Like I have to take this opportunity just as a way of like honoring my mom, just because she was so, I don't even think determined is like what I describe my mom. She was so, like just the way she was so gracious in everything that she did. I saw that as just like a strength that I was like, I don't know how this woman is able to create all these opportunities with no resources. Like she had no resources. All she had is connections. She got herself involved in community and she found information. And so I think back now, and I got a bit of my mom in me, which is really cool. I feel like I picked up a few of her tricks over the years. Yeah. And yeah, I just look back now and I look at, even in Kakuma, I was always like the teacher's pet. I was always like asking so many questions, like always just making sure that I knew what was going on. And like I was telling my friends and I'd be like, oh, there's this happening. We briefly lived in Nairobi for like a year and we didn't have school. Like me and my brother, we didn't have school. My sister was put to like a school and my mom can only afford one of us. Like she couldn't afford all of us. And so I was hanging out with my friends and I ended up finding that they had this government, like it was an NGO in Canada sponsoring this school called Sud Academy. And I was like, I came home, I was so excited. I was like, Mom, we can go to school. My mom was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, I found this school called Sud Academy and we can go to that. And me and my brother, Mangar, we were like, yeah, Mom, we'll go to that. And so we went and basically enrolled ourselves in this school.
You and yourselves?
Me and my brother, we literally went and just enrolled ourselves in this school.
Wow.
And then we studied there until we basically ended up because to go through the visas to come to this country, you have to go through Nairobi, and it's not the easiest place to live. It's like big Melbourne, and so you're in like this city with no money, and my mom is like trying to pay rent and trying to make it happen, and then now there's this piece of us not being in school as well, and so I was just like, I'm gonna go and figure it out for us, and I ended up I did that, and so we ended up going to school. So I've always been that person. Just was like, if there's a will, there's a way. Like we will make it happen, and as a family. And so I look back to Kakuma, and just even now as a 33-year-old, still savvy as anything, trying to find ways to like make life easy for me, for the people around me as well. So I think young Akec will be very proud. I don't think she'll be super, super surprised. Because I don't think I've changed. I've probably gone a bit taller. I've put on a bit of weight. But I think she'll be very just proud. Because I've always just been the same. I've also mellowed down a little bit as well. I think she'll be very surprised about that. I think that's the only thing she'll be surprised about, because I was very feisty and very determined, and always argued with anything and everything that did anything wrong. I've just toned it back as I've gotten older over the years. Really just try to harness that fight into things that are important versus them being physical and like taking too much of my energy. Actually just going and thinking and going, okay, what's going to make a difference here? Like what cause needs me, and how can I approach that, versus the feisty me, like you must hear me, and like that protesters, fighters, those people in front with marching, now it's just about, okay, how can I get my message across in ways that actually is impactful and is able to inspire, so that people can come along and be a part of whatever it is that I'm trying to inspire them about. So I should be surprised about how mellow I am these days, and should be very, very proud as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's having come from such difficult beginnings and such difficult background to get to where you are now is just beyond incredible. And I can see a lot of your mum. I have not met your mum, but I can, from what you've said, can really see a lot of that fire in you. Yeah, and I guess it's interesting going through that journey and then getting to this point of being, I suppose, more intentional with your time and your energy, which in some ways, I guess, means you're channeling more into what you're choosing, which is really powerful in a way. Yeah. I feel like every time you say anything, I'm just like, oh, I love that, because everything you say is just so incredibly just inspiring.
Thank you.
Do you think young Akec would have been surprised that you carved out a career in professional sports?
I think young Akec will probably be, again, I was always when we were living in the refugee camp, girls were not allowed to play sports. Yeah. The only sport we were allowed to do is volleyball. And I just
Why's
thought,
that?
I don't know. It was just this random setup. And also, I think it was just culture. Our culture just was like, it was a very, it was just weird. I don't know why, but the boys were always playing soccer. I wanted to play soccer. And they were like, go and play volleyball. And I was like, that is so boring and that's so girly. And I was like, absolutely not. And I would go to the volleyball place, and all the girls are like, and it was great because it was an opportunity for the girls to, I guess, connect and go and like hang out with each other. And I love that. I was able to go and hang out with my sisters and aunties and cousins, and it was great. But I wasn't for me. I loved soccer. I loved football. I wanted to be involved in football. And so we had a Swahili teacher, Mr. Albert. I vividly remember this man. He put us through our paces one time. He introduced me to push-ups. I still don't know how to do push-ups, by the way. I can do maybe 10.
That's still impressive. 10 is good.
Oh, no, don't tell like the
outside of the AFLW, it's really good.
It's really good? Okay, cool. I'll pass. I think I'll pass there. No, it was just one of those, like, he introduced us to push-ups and like all these like cardio and like fitness stuff. And I just remember looking at him and going, wow, that's really cool. And then, I still don't like the gym. I don't know how. I don't know why, but I'm still not really a big fan of the gym.
Yeah, wow.
But it was that the way that he introduced us to that. And then we went to the Sud Academy. My teacher, Christine, introduced us to soccer. And so I just remembered like getting so like falling in love with these sports and going, oh, wow, this is cool. Like I want to play soccer. Like I like soccer. I love soccer. And so when I came to Australia, I got so invested. Like there's a word that my friends always call, like, you know, when you're so like when you're so stubborn in your belief and what you're good at. I became so good at like sports so quickly that I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like this is epic. And when I was 16, I went to China, and it was like weeks after the Olympics games. And I was like, on the way back on the plane, I was like, what a life. Like these world-class athletes are on planes every day. I was like, yep, I'm gonna be a sports person. I was like, I don't know what sports just yet. I wanted to be a soccer player. Like I wanted to be a professional soccer player so bad. Like I loved soccer so bad. But I was always very open to the idea that if I had to pivot and choose another sport, there was also an opportunity for me as well. So I just pivoted my career at 18. I changed. I started playing footy when I was 19. And so, I don't think she would be so surprised. She'd be surprised about footy.
Yeah. She wouldn't have known
anything.
what footy is, right?
No, 100%. Because she knew how much I love soccer. And she'd be proud, because I think for me, what I was able to do is also tell other young, you know, not just only women, but also young boys as well and young men, that it is okay to pivot. Sometimes, you know, that career might not work out, but it's okay to pivot and do something else to be able to, I guess, push and give you opportunity. It's where you go where opportunity is, essentially. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So every time you say pivot, I just think of that scene from Friends where they're like moving a couch and like pivot. So sorry, that's going on in my head right now. It's Ross going like pivot. But,
no, I need to go watch that episode.
Look, it's hilarious. So something that I think, you know, it's come out so clearly just through you talking about your childhood to where you've got to now, and something that I know is you at your core is you're just so good at just being true to yourself and tapping into who you are and using that as your superpower. And so I'm interested to know how you've kind of used this approach or this mantra to get to where you are today and to have carved out, you know, a space for yourself in the AFLW in particular, but then beyond that as well.
I think I carved it out when I was really young.
Yeah.
I've always been surrounded by so many people, but I've always just loved just thinking for myself. And I really loved that as a youngster growing up. And so I also really knew that my culture played a big part of who I am. And I was like, I loved like the fact that I came to this country as a 12-year-old. You know, I had this complex background where I grew up in a refugee camp with all these different characters and people and communities.
Yeah.
We had Ethiopians, you know, we had Eritreans, Congolese, South Sudanese, Kenyans. Like we had just a broad spectrum of people around us. And so like what those different nationalities and people told me is the importance of identity and why it's important to know who you are and where you come from. And like I spent 7 weeks in South Sudan. Like I was born in South Sudan.
Yeah.
I left when I was like 3 months and we went to Kenya. And so I was in Kenya longer than I was in South Sudan, essentially. But there was always something special, like my name, and my mom and my family, my dad, and just hearing about my family and who they are. That really was special to me. And I just really wanted to keep that and just know that I was representing something bigger than me. I was representing, and also for young people to be proud of who they are and where they come from. And so to my core, I knew that I had to take that in my sports, because I think I was growing up around where people were changing their accents and people were changing just how they dress just to fit in a system.
Yeah.
And I always had this mantra that people used to laugh at me all the time. I was like, my legs are really too long. Like I can't fit in whatever these boxes you people are trying to fit me in. Like I got really long legs. And they used to like laugh. And I didn't actually understand that was actually really empowering.
Yeah.
Like it was a very empowering context for myself to just have that at the forefront. Because what that was essentially saying is that I don't fit in whatever this box that we are trying to be painted and trying to be pushed in. Like I'm a catch. Like I am loud. I have so much energy. I don't drink coffee. I don't drink alcohol.
You don't drink coffee?
I don't drink coffee. I drink coffee once a week.
Oh, really?
Like now, I drink coffee once a week, maybe. Like if I'm
Where does the energy come from?
I don't know. It's just generated energy. Just generated. It's just generated energy. I just look at life and I'm just like, you know what? I'm alive. Like I woke up this morning. It was like windy and then it was like sunny and it was like we had 4 weathers in one day again today. Like it's been
It is freezing today in Melbourne.
It was like windy. It was like moving like this, like the last couple of days. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna generate energy. I'm just gonna generate energy. I've got things to do. The show must go on, you know? And so I look at those things and I'm like, okay, my power comes from who I am and my family, and just what I've been able to go through. And like my mom is my center of everything because what that woman went through to bring us here, I knew that by not honoring or being true to myself, I knew that I was going to take away from just her hard work and what she continues to even do today in my life. Like some days I'm like, oh, I'm like on it. And I'm like, Mom, I don't feel like doing this. And she'll bring me back. You know, she'll empower me and like, you know, gift me these germs that I'm like, oh my God, my mom gave me like these things that I can hold on to. And so, and then also bringing my culture into the mix. Like I've been in Australia now for 20 years and it's been the place that I've been at the longest. And you know, I'm proud to hold an Australian citizenship and to have an Australian passport and to say that I live in Australia. But for a long time, I wasn't proud to say that I'm Australian because there was always this negative. Every time I said I'm Australian, they're like, but where are you really from?
Oh, yeah.
There's that. And so for me, I was really like, for a long time, I was like, nah, actually, I'm South Sudanese. I grew up in, you know, Perth. I was like born in South Sudan. I lived in Kenya. And so just telling my identity that way kind of empowered me a little bit versus just being stuck in this like, I don't know where I belong. Like I don't belong in South Sudan. I don't belong in Kenya and I don't belong in Australia. And I've been here for 20 years and still getting asked, where are you from, you know? So I just got rid of all of that altogether by just telling people when people ask me, where are you from? Like I'm South Sudanese. Yeah. And then I go to London and they're like, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, I'm South Sudanese. They're like, where's your accent from?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I live in Melbourne. They're like, that's where.
It's Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I just always found that those different connections really, but for me, what was true to me is just saying that I'm South Sudanese. I live in Australia and I was okay with that because sometimes you can try and fight a system, but if the system doesn't want to really accept that you are Australian, like you just want to call yourself Australian or African Australian, I'm not going to fight it. Like I'm not going to try and force it anymore to try and convince people. So that for me was really awesome, just to try and empower myself like that as a young person. Because what happens a lot of the time is young people, you're kind of like in this middle where you're just stuck. And I just didn't want to be stuck because I was like, I'm so proud of my heritage. I'm proud of where I come from and my mom's come from, where my dad comes from. And that is I come from the land of the giants. And I was so proud of that, even though I never really lived there. I was like, I was born there. You know, my true roots are there. So having that connection has been really powerful. And then now I'm finding my feet where sometimes people ask me, I'm like, oh, I'm South Sudanese. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, I do have an Australian passport. And they're like, yeah, you're Australian. And I'm like, oh, thanks. I feel like I'm finally being accepted somehow.
Yeah.
Like there's that accepting. But also it's like for me, it just makes it easy to just be like, I love this country and I love what Australia has been able to offer me. But also as a young person, I didn't want to confuse myself by fighting the system because people were telling me, where are you really from? And being disempowered by that question.
Yeah.
Instead, I just was like, actually, I was born in South Sudan. I am South Sudanese. And I am South Sudanese Australian.
I like that.
That for me was really powerful, and it helps me sleep at night. And I'm not fighting like, oh, they don't accept me and I'm not Australian. And because at the end of the day, they can't take my passport away from me.
Well, exactly.
So
not just
Australian.
by asking, where are you really from?
Yeah, like I'm like, sis, I'm from Mirrabooka. And they're like, where is that? I'm like, that's in Perth.
Yeah.
It's in the northern suburbs, okay? 6064. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, it's actually so funny because majority of these people that ask me these questions, I've been in more Australian cities. I've actually been in every Australian capital city, like me. I'm like, I've done more of an Australian road trip than majority of the people that are like, where really are you from? But anyways, that's a story for another day.
I love it. You need to like pull out almost like your passport with stickers or stamps of everywhere in Australia that you've been.
City. There's that song I always tell people. I'm like, you know that song, I've been everywhere, man.
Yeah.
That's me. Somebody was like, have you been to Wagga Wagga? I was like, that name is Wagga Wagga, and I've been there like 3 times. Like that's how wild it is. I have been in some of the craziest places. Like I have been, where did I go? I went to Launceston for a day. Somebody's like, what? I'm like, yeah, bro. I went
just for a day trip.
I went to commentate. It was so cold. I was like, take me back.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up, guys. I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home. Like, cut the tape. Cold. That place was so cold.
Yeah.
In 1 month I went to Canberra like 3 times.
Was it cold there as well?
It was actually nice. Oh. Yeah, it was around this time. It's like October, so it was perfect. I've just loved exploring different parts of this beautiful country. And also I think what really equalized me is what really made me feel at home is the fact that I now can sit at a pub and somebody be like, what's your favorite team? And I'm like, I actually have 3. And they're like, why do you have 3 teams? And I'm like, because I played for 3 teams. And they're like, you? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, who did you play for? And I'm like, I played at Fremantle, Richmond, and Hawthorn.
Yes.
Really? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, bloody oath. And I'm like, yep.
It's so Australian.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, and that honestly, like playing footy, I knew footy was going to be that opportunity for me to get to know my Australian culture and get into the identity of Australian culture. Yeah. And I think I've done that really well over the years, especially with just being able to play footy and just having all these different people from all the different clubs that I played at. Yeah. And the fact that they don't see me for Akec is South Sudanese. They don't see me as Akec is African. They just see me as Akec who played for Hawthorn and who played for Fremantle and who played for their favorite team. And I'm just like, you know what? That's really cool. I'm okay with that. So yeah. And I always tell people, follow a footy team, because sometimes you go and sit at a camping spot. Like last year I was just at camping I was doing a TV show called Hunted, and this man couldn't believe it. He said, you bloody played at Richmond? And I was like, yeah, mate. And we fully went on it. And he's like, wow, that is so cool. He's like, was that around the time that Dustin Martin? I was like, I actually have a picture with him.
Did you pull it out? Did you show him?
No, I couldn't, because I didn't have my phone with me that time. They took our phones. But that now I can have those conversations with people and say, some of your favorite players are actually my friends.
Yeah.
Like, really? I'm like, yeah.
Power move.
They're my teammates. I used to play with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mates. So yeah.
Impressive.
It's awesome. Yeah.
That's a very strategic way to win people over.
I honestly, it's smart, because it's like people are it's like a religion here.
Yeah.
People love footy. And so now, like, even when I started playing local footy this year, and one of the mum comes like, my son, he's obsessed with you. Like, he never followed you AFLW, but he saw you kick in a game, and now he wants to come to your games every week. I was like,
cute.
huh? He's like, yeah. He's like, Mum, she kicks better than half of my team. She's like, she kicks better than all of my mates in my team.
You're like, yeah, I do.
I was like, wow. So that's what sports can do sometimes though. So I always tell people, if you want to get to know other cultures, it's like when you go to Europe Everyone loves football there. Like
Yeah.
soccer is like how you just go and play soccer and you make new friends. It's the same year. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. And that kind of is a nice segue into the next question I actually wanted to ask you about, which is, you know, you're in the AFLW kind of adjacent to the boys club. You know, were you able to actually get into the boys club as an AFLW player? And, you know, in order to get there, what was kind of the most rebellious move you made to really open those doors that maybe weren't meant for you?
I think for us, we did get into that boys club.
Yeah.
Because for a very long time, the AFL was seen as this like men's only, and it was. Even though there was women's fans, there was women that were been fans of the game for hundreds and hundreds of years. And so I'm really glad that they brought the competition forward. So it was actually supposed to launch in 2020.
Yeah.
And then some person, head office, was like, no, we're going to launch it in 2017. Why not? And I was like, you know what? That was very smart because we were getting old.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so glad that they decided, the boys decided that they're going to, let us in. And so I think for us, when we came in, we knew it wasn't about us. Like year one, I tell people now, got paid $8,000. That's before tax.
Wow, okay.
After tax, we probably walked away with like maybe $4,000 year one.
So not a livable wage.
It was literally like, I was like, I make more per post on an Instagram post right now than what I got paid that season.
Wow. And this is 2017.
This is 2017. That was like yesterday.
That's a pretty big deal.
That's not that far long ago.
Yeah.
And so I think for us, we knew it wasn't about us. It wasn't about, I think there was 150 plus girls that were drafted that year. And there was like maybe like a handful of teams. There's 8 teams. We knew it wasn't about us. We were not going to be millionaires overnight. It was about the next generation that will be coming the next 20 years and taking this competition and making it their own. But also what the women, people like us provided, like me, being the first African woman to be drafted in the IFL. It was also just to tell, like, even the boys club of my own community, like for 20 years I played soccer since I started playing soccer at 12. And I remembered like just constantly having to fight, like having to prove that sports is good. Sports is for me. Sports is for my mental health, physical health. I had to convince my own family to just allow me, my own brothers. And so there was those things that I had to overcome. And so to go and then start playing a new sports at the age of 19, then to go and get drafted. And like I didn't even know how big this thing was. I didn't even want to nominate. My coach was like, Nicole's like, Akec, did you nominate for the draft? I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, did you nominate? I was like, no, of course I didn't. You know I didn't. And she's like, okay, sit down, let's nominate. And the way that she pushed me to nominate, I didn't actually know how big this thing was going to be. And then I got drafted. And it was so crazy because I didn't even, I had the memories come up the other day on my Facebook. I had people from all over the world sending me messages, tagging me in posts on Facebook. I was like,
amazing.
What is going on? Like it was, I think at the time, there was only me and another, a Dud Bulgak, she was drafted in the WNBA.
Yeah.
And I just remembered we were the first South Sudanese women in professional sports at that time, being celebrated by our community. And I just was like, wow, like that is what being a part of a shift looks like, actually shifting conversation, shifting movement.
Yeah.
So I knew it was so much bigger than me. And so going to the AFL, it was like, okay, cool. We have an opportunity here to pave a new path.
Yeah.
We come in here and we just be ourselves. We don't have to change. And I can represent my culture, my community, my people. And it wasn't until I retired in 2023 that the next African girl was then drafted, Elaine Gregg, by the Western Bulldogs. And it was a long time in the making. I was doing community forums, talking to parents. I advocating to parents, enroll your kids in sports, not just footy, in sports. And I was doing that on purpose because sports gave me and my family a new family, my mom was coming to my games on the weekend, and my family and my teammates would be sitting next to my mom, explaining the rules to my mom. She had no idea what was going on. And I was telling my family and friends and community that this is what's available to you. And so entering, I guess, the AFL as ourselves, as the AFL women players, who were, some were construction workers, some were sports liaison officers, multicultural engagement officers, some were like mothers, some were police officers having to leave and become part-time police women to pursue this new career that they had knew nothing about. And what I really appreciated was, it was an unknown. It was a very unknown, but it was how the boys themselves were curious and wanted to know. And I think that's how we broke that system of, this is no longer a boys' club. This is now a community club. We have women here. We have the women's team they're your teammates. And I remember the girls would be so nervous, like, oh my God, the boys. And I'm just like, oh, what's up, Nat 5? How you doing, brother? And the girls are like, how are you talking to him like that? And I'm like, because that's how we break the mold. We can't just be scared and not, like, they're our teammates. They're our club mates, Same, I'll see Dustin Martin and I'm like, I'm down at Tigerland and I'm like, hey, Dusty, how you doing, brother? And he's like, hi, Akec. And we're like sitting there like chatting about video games and the Premier League. And like, I knew I had to kind of just keep being myself, to keep opening those channels of, that's how you build relationships.
Today's interview with Akec is sponsored by Glowreel, athletic nutrition built for the long game, designed for lifelong athletes who train hard, think sharp, and aim to stay strong for decades to come. Learn more about their performance-driven daily formula at luthri.com. That's LUTHRI.com.
Just being comfortable around each other and then I started seeing young women just being comfortable. When I was at Hawthorn, like, the boys would be like in the gym with us. It was just one club approach. And I think like me, just being myself was a really good way. I worked at the AFL for a bit and everyone was always so scared of the execs. Like the execs were like in their offices.
Like the big important.
Important. I didn't even know. I was like, what is an exec again? I was like, I don't know what that is. I'm just walking around. I'm like, oh, the CEO, what's up, Mr. CEO? How you doing today?
Was he like, excuse me?
And they're like, whoa, you're talking to the CEO. I'm like, yeah, man. He's like, that's the CEO Gil, And I'm like, just like Steve Hawking. I'm like, Hawk, how you doing, man? It's like, hi, Akec. And like everyone, like days that I didn't come to work, it was like, everyone's like, the next day is like, where the heck were you? This office was so boring. And I was like, really? And I knew, because I was just like, I was like, that is how you change things so that people are comfortable around each other, to create an atmosphere. Because it's like, yeah, they're the exec, but if we're in this building together, it obviously means I'm important too. I'm a VIP as well.
100%.
So we are all VIPs.
Yeah.
And the only reason why this works, is this network works, is that we are all just comfortable being around each other. So I think I hope that I kind of rubbed off on those people to just be comfortable. And it's been nice to see some of the relationships that the boys and the girls teams have formed over the years in the AFLW. And it's just, I think it's just broke down that barrier that it's no longer boys, us versus them. We just won, and now we play AFL. We play for the same jumper. We play for the same club. And I think that's, I think that was my little touch on how, another thing that I really loved, one of my favorite moments, I was down in, I did the national champs a couple of years ago, and I was down, there was like all these big execs, they came down, there was like a restaurant, and my boss at the time, Gumby, was like, oh, that's the CEO, and that's the this, and like he'll probably be like a future CEO one day. And I just went right in there, and I was just like talking to these people. And And then that same guy now is the CEO.
Oh, no way. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, Kate, I remember meeting you up in Byron Bay. And I was like, yeah, I remember meeting you too. Had a really awesome conversation. And I think just like those little conversations and like things that I've like done just to break that like boys club. Like now I don't see it as a boys club anymore. Like, yes, it used to be back in the days. Now it's our club. It's a club that I belong in. Like, I'm in that club too, you know?
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
I would say you've probably created like quite a legacy that, you know, for generations to come, where like more young women can come in and feel like they're a part of it.
And just be themselves.
Yeah. And it, you know, I think, and I don't know if this was intentional on your part when you were in the FLW, but it's like you've gone in and just been like, we're all human, right? It reminds me of this quote from, I think it was Obama was saying in an interview one time, you know, you walk into these rooms with all these powerful world leaders and then you sit at the table and you go, we're all just people. And I suppose that's, the key thing to remember, right, is yes, there's this boys club and yes, there might be powerful people and all these big fancy executives, but turns out you can just go up to them and say hello and make friends.
Yeah, and you can, and honestly, some of the widest conversation I've had are like with the execs and then becoming besties with their wives. Yeah. Their wives are the best because me and them are just like talking about makeup and stuff.
I love that. Yeah.
And fashion. Yeah. And they're just like, oh, you guys are still talking about fashion. I'm like, yes, that's what we do. Yeah. You know? And it's because it's just, the more we normalize things, the quicker things become. And I think that's what, for me, like when people are like, oh my God, I saw you on TV, like my neighbors. As I was actually walking here today, I was like getting in my car. And my neighbor was like, oh my goodness, I got the kids and I sat them down and they watched the end game. They couldn't believe. They were like, Mom, it's our neighbor. And I was like, we have to normalize that even people on TV, they're just normal, everyday people. They probably just want to have a chat. Like, I love hanging out with the kids, you know? And now they'll probably just be like thinking like, oh, she hangs out with us, she says hi to us, and now she's on TV, you know? And they get to have a different way of being, going, you know what? She's cool. We want to be cool like her when we get on TV one day, you know? So it's giving people that it's just normal. We're just normal human beings, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I like that. Yeah. That's really cool. You mentioned kind of making friends with the wives. Have you used that as a strategy to kind of get in with a particular group or a particular person, you know, at any events before?
Honestly, like, it's so weird. Like, I know there's people that do that, like becoming friends with like powerful people as a way. But it's just like my genuine just personality. Because the reason I'm strategic is because I go to so many events and a lot of the time I don't know anyone. Yeah. So I'm like, but if I know the exec of the wife is somebody that I know they're going to be there and the wife's probably going to be the plus one. And now I'm going to be like, oh my goodness, I have friends there. And a lot of the time, that is actually what ends up happening. Like, I end up at these like crazy events and I'm just like, my goodness, I'm probably not going to know anyone, but I have a rule. I'm like, if I don't know anyone there, I'm going to make friends with new people. And they've always been the most successful events I've been at because I've gone in there, no expectation. I've gone by myself and I've just gone and made new friends. But yeah, I know people that do make that as a strategy. It's a great strategy. But for me, it's awesome because I'm like, I go to these events with them anyways, and it just gives me more touch point to then be able to be like, like when I see this exec and I'm like, I saw your wife at Mecca, which is so funny. I always see them somewhere.
I mean, Mecca sounds about right. We're all there. Always,
we're always
right?
there. Oh, like I saw your wife, and like I saw your wife, like and then we're like, oh, my wife was telling me that she saw you doing this fashion thing. There's always a conversation that leads back to something that we all have in common somewhere. Yeah. Which is awesome because then I feel like it just prolongs that relationship and that friendship, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that kind of always finding that point of commonality, and 9 times out of 10 you will have something that you can kind of chat to someone about that you both agree with or enjoy. That's really cool. Yeah. We're all about brilliant women like you sharing their knowledge and their tips that the Old Boys Club doesn't want us to share. notwithstanding that you've managed to like carve out a space for yourself in the boys club, which is awesome. My last question for you for today is, what's your original sin? The thing that they said you shouldn't do, but you did it anyway, and it changed everything.
I think my original sin is that I was always I was told that my dreams were too big, and it's been so loud. Like, I feel like my title of my book one day probably be like, "Your dreams are too big" or something like that. Because,
but you can achieve them anyway.
But I was like, yeah. And I was just like, thought about that. And I was just like, where does that actually come from? Like somebody else's limiting belief is being put on me. Like, what does it have to do with me? And stubbing me. I was just like, I don't even know. I don't speak that language. What do you mean? I speak like 4 different languages. I don't know what you're talking about right now. And being so stubborn and like going, not to challenge you, because I think a lot of people are like, I'll prove you wrong.
Yeah.
I really didn't understand what that even meant. I felt like there was always something sinister around that. I was like, I always believed in, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to chase my dreams. Because what's on the other side of, you have this awesome dream. Like I had this vision of wanting to become a professional athlete. I wanted to become a professional soccer player. That was my first big dream. So I went to China when I was 16, played in the Premier League. And I was just like, awesome. Like I was a semi-pro. Like I did that.
That's cool. I actually didn't realize that when you went to China, it was to play. That's amazing.
It was actually such a big tournament. There was like Australia, there was China, there was South Africa. There was like all these different countries.
Yeah.
And I was really good at soccer. And so when I was 18, I went and trialed to Perth Glory. That didn't work out. And I could have just sat there and gone, oh, I give up. I'm just gonna, But I was like, oh, let me try something different. I went and created another dream, and I started playing AFL. Craziest thing that I've ever done. Because I was like, now I have to learn how to kick the footy.
Yeah, it's a whole other sport.
The only thing I knew about footy at the time was Nick Nanui, the West Coast Eagles, and that this giant Fijian man would tap the ball to himself and he'll grab it and he'll kick it. And I was like, I like that. I like to see things. I was like, yep, I'm going to do what he's doing. Yeah. And I started just watching more footy. I just was like, it is okay to dream big. Because when you dream big, you're not really you're not setting yourself up. You're dreaming, you're hoping, you're creating a vision, you're creating opportunities for yourself in something that excites you. Yeah. And sometimes that can be really scary for people that really are kind of stuck in that, And I was like, that's a you problem, baby. Like you keep that over there. You keep that disempowerment elsewhere, because I'm just gonna keep dreaming. And I just kept persisting in my dreams. Like sometimes I wake up, I'm like, yep, I'm gonna do this. And then it just doesn't work out. I'm like, great, create another dream. What I always want to tell people is that not every dream that you have is going to be like, wow. It's just the ability to be able to have something to grab, something to hold on to, so that you can be like, awesome. I went to uni, I did my Cert 4, then I went and did my diploma. And then I was talking to my brother one day, and my brother was like, you know what, why don't you just finish your degree? You've already done it, like you're nearly there. And I was like, you know what, you're not wrong about that. So then I went and enrolled. Bang, fast forward 2025, I'm about to graduate.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And I didn't actually think that was going to be possible, but it was simply having a conversation with my brother that led to me actually fulfilling that dream. And so I think my original sin is people always told me that my dreams were too big, right? And then I achieved something so epic that I actually essentially didn't actually think that was even a dream. Yeah. And it's simply because I've kind of laid that foundation of empowering myself to believe that I can do anything. Because what dreams are at the end of the day is that believing that you can achieve awesome things in your life. And even if you don't achieve awesome things, it's just the ability to be able to say, you know what, I want to go and shoot the netball. And that right there, you've done the action. You've actually done it. You've gone to the court and you've done it. Even if you have not gone to the court, the fact that you've actually just thought about it might maybe lead you on to, you know what, I don't like netball. Maybe I'll go and do something else. it's creating that chain of ideas to just keep coming until you land into your one that works, and then that works, and then you create again. And that's how I kind of look at it. Like I always look at like people like Apple and like all these people that created amazing things. I'm like, they didn't just stop because something went wrong. They went back to the drawing board. They went and strategized. They came up with better strategy. They worked with people, and then they executed what they needed to execute. Now we get to watch TV on Apple smartphones. We get to do everything on things that people's dreams that they just were like, you know what? I want to create a smartphone that's going to help people, with technology. And then they've probably failed in the first one and they attempted the second one. Then guess what? They didn't just they went and created other dreams that had nothing to do with Apple. Yeah. And because that's kind of how I live my life now. I'm like, okay, cool. I kind of look at it as a project, and I kind of look at them as an opportunity. And I'm glad I'm been able to do it this way, because it's given me the ability to be able to just dream anyways, have dreams, because they empower me. They make me happy. They wake me up in the morning, and I get to try different things. I get to fail at different things, and that's okay. Yeah. And I get to create things again. I fail, go again. Fail, go again. I don't just fail and then just give up. You fail, and then you find the nugget in the failure. You look at, okay, this is where this didn't work out. Okay, let's execute it like this again. That's been really good to kind of like have that outlook. Yeah. For me personally, and that's what I'm trying to tell young people now around me and all over, like everywhere. Like everywhere is just like, dream big. You can dream big. If this young girl from Kakuma refugee camp can come, in this country with like, I didn't even speak English like that. And I came here and I just kept creating. It was like a creation. I just kept creating and creating and creating and creating. I'm still creating. I'm now a content creator, for God's sake.
I love it.
And it's fitting, because that's what dreams are. They're something that you create for yourself because they matter to you. They're important to you. And it's really just about empowering myself to be able to say that, hey, I am somebody who takes things on. I'm not stopped by this empowering context of, oh, that's too big for you. Like, you can't go and climb Mountain Kilimanjaro. It might be hard, but we're going to try anyways. We're going to put it as
Is that something that you want to do?
Not yet. Okay. I want to run a marathon first.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to run the marathons first, but I hate running.
Oh, soon.
I know. It's actually so crazy to say as an athlete.
Yeah. You don't like the gym? You don't like running?
No, I like running for no reason is like the worst thing for athletes. Like,
oh yeah, fair enough.
I get the run influences. I like inspired. Yeah. But like for me, I want to run like with a footy. Like for me, I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. But like just going to run like continuously for like 40 kilometers. Yeah. Like for me, I'm just like, whoa. But again, it's about a dream. So for me, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I was actually supposed to run the Sydney Marathon for Australia for UNHCR as part of my ambassador work.
This year?
This year I was supposed to do it, but I ended up getting injured. And it was the scariest thing because I was like, I was stuck in that, I cannot do it. Oh my God. But then I was like, what an opportunity. I get to raise money, I get to get outside my comfort zone. I get to now be a different way. I get to go and actually just run. For the first time in a long time, I just go and run. I get to train. And now that's literally what I am putting forward. So I'm like, I'm going to commit to a marathon. I don't know when the next marathon is, but we'll. Okay.
That's awesome though.
But then I'm like, okay, if I don't then end up creating running marathon, what else can I create? Oh, I'm actually really interested at the moment. I want to learn how to play golf. And I'm like, oh nice. Right. So all these different adventures, right, are leading me to more and more and more nuggets, because it might not just be ending up as I might go and become, the best street golfer there is in Cheltenham, Yeah. I don't know where that is. Sounds far, but it's where all the golf courses are. The nice golf courses are there. I might go and meet some friends there, So for me, I look at all these different things as an opportunity. But yeah, that was my original sin growing up.
That is incredibly powerful. I love that. So dream big, keep going. Yeah. Don't be afraid to fail. Just like learn from it and figure out what's next. If you need to pivot, but always keep dreaming big and keep going.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And I think just so reflective of your life and your career and your journey so far, with so much more to come. A marathon, apparently. Future, like top world championship golfer. And
okay, let's just call it street
golfer. Okay, we'll stick with street golfer now. I love that. Well, Kitch, thank you so much for sitting down with me today and just for being so open and raw with your story and your big, bold tips. I think I've certainly learned a lot from you, and I have no doubt many others will, and just be so inspired by your journey.
Thank you. Thank you for having me in your podcast. And yeah, it's these spaces that give, I don't think enough of our stories and conversations are amplified enough. And so I'm glad that you were able to create a platform like this, not only for people like me, but for everyone to tell your story as well, and to also put your passion out there into the world as well, because it's important. It's important for us to just come and have a dialogue, and for many, I'm sure there's women that never heard of me that are probably going to go, whoa, we didn't know this girl existed, you know? And there's women that are in my network that have probably never heard of you that are going to be like, wow,
who's this girl?
It's really cool, you know? So it's, I think those are the exchanges and the networks that we get to create. So I'm glad that there's a platform like this that you were able to say, you know what, I want to be able to tell the stories of many other people. So congrats to you. And I'm excited to share it with all my friends.
Thanks, Akec. Yeah. I had a dream, making it happen.
Make it happen. Period. That's literally all it is. Just make it happen.
Exactly. You just got to go out there and do it.
Yeah. Even like for me, like what I forgot to touch on is like the pressures of being a single unmarried woman as well. And like just how like these women are navigating their careers. Like I'm navigating my career. I'm having just found a boyfriend finally after 8 years. Yay. But also just how fun it's been for me to like have that identity of just going, this is just who I am. Like I am unmarried. I am my nieces and nephews, they think I'm rich. So I'm like, I love that for them.
You're the fun, rich aunt.
I know I'm the fun, rich auntie that comes and just disappears.
That is life goals.
I'm like, this is great. I drop all the chocolates and, you know, act rich to them. I love that. They think chocolates is rich.
I mean,
I'm just like, oh my God. I actually don't need to do anything for my nieces. Just bring them all the chocolates in the world and I'm like their favorite auntie. But yeah, there's a lot of women that are navigating careers and so many different spaces at the moment. That will just be awesome. Like you can just interview and they'll give you so many good nuggets.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I can send you a list.
Yeah, please do. I'd love that. I'll definitely reach out to the Collective Closet team.
They're awesome. No, I really admire them.
Honestly, that's probably been one of my favorite things with when I started Glowreel is meeting someone, having the opportunity to chat with them and hear their story and learn so much from them, and then finding out that there's all these other incredible women that I just haven't heard of or crossed paths with yet, and you know, being able to connect with so many amazing, like we're just all out there doing really cool things. It's the best.
It's awesome. And now we get to have multiple places that amplify our stories. So
exactly all the change is happening. Started with you though, joining the AFLW in 2017.
Oh God, I was no. It's been fun. It's been fun. Now I'm glad I'm out of it now. Yeah. I did my first runway the other day. It was so fun.
For Melbourne Fashion Week?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yes. Who'd you walk for?
I walked for, it was called the Emporium, Little Burke Street one. So I got to wear Mage and Oroton and Husk.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so I got to wear 3 outfits and it was insane.
So add model to the bio.
Apparently. That's what AI was telling me. I was actually looking up some dress because I was posting it on my LTK. Yeah. And it was like, this appears to be Akec Makur Chuot, former AFLW player and model. I was like,
if AI says
that was so quick.
It must be true.
That was so quick, AI. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And I was like, apparently now. I was like, you know what? Embrace it. Like, I think, and that's why I always tell people, don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. I'm not just a Akec, the former AFLW player. Like, I got so many talents and like I own it. I'm like, I love that for me that I'm able to, I don't say no to anything. Somebody's like, do you want to come and jump space with me? I'm like, yeah, let's go. I got vertigo, but we'll cross that bridge later. We'll deal with that problem later. And just saying yes to opportunities. I just say yes to all this. I did a campaign with Sports Girl that I didn't even I thought it was this tiny campaign. Ended up being like an Australian-wide campaign.
Fantastic.
And then I did one with Witchery. And I was like, you know what? These people keep asking me if I'm a supermodel. I might put my long legs to use. Let me put my long legs to use for the first time in a long time. So, yeah, I was like, it is what it is. So when my beautiful friend was actually in China Bar, and I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm styling the Little Burke Street thing. And I was like, oh my God, can I do it? And she's like, do you wanna? And I was like, yes. And she's like, so done. I was like, are you sure? And then she sent me a message like, what's your agent's email again? For the show. I was like, you are actually being serious? She was like, yeah. I was like, okay, all right. And sometimes in this industry, you just gotta ask.
Yeah.
I think too many people are so scared of just asking and going, can I do it? Like literally suggesting.
Because the worst that happens is they just say no and you're like, okay, you're cool, but I'll move on.
But you ask. And the asking is where the nugget is. And I was like, and I did. And I literally went and walked this runway the other day and all my friends were there. Like people that were like, all the people from the industry, they were like, girl, you were so good. I was like, don't stress me.
I wish I'd known. I would have like come along and
I was nervous. I didn't tell people. I was also nervous because I was like, what if I'm going like bomb and I'm like really bad? But then also on the last day, I just woke up with this found like, I'm going to just be amazing today. I'm going to go and do my walk. And I was just like, my sister was a supermodel. So I was like, just go walk how she walks, Yeah. I remember when I used to sit in the front row and just watch all her shows. And I'm just like, this is so cool. We kind of look a little bit, like we kind of walk a little bit the same in a way. And we sound the same. So I was like, just channel your sister. You know what? What are you doing in this situation? I said, I just went and did my thing. And apparently I was really good. My boyfriend was like, you're amazing. I was like, I know you're biased. I'm not just supposed to say that. But like, thanks. He's a Virgo. We're very honest. He was like, you're really good. I was like, okay, I believe you.
Yeah. I'm sure he would have told you.
And my best friend was like, she was like, I knew when she was doing the lily. I was like, okay.
Yeah, like, I know.
And then I watched, and like they took videos on the runway.
Yeah.
And then he kept taking videos of me on the screen, on the big screen.
Yeah.
And like when I was editing it together, I was like, your videos are actually better because they just gave this like Paris moment, So yeah, it was awesome. Cute. It was such a team effort. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm like, bring on, when's the next runway?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I feel like a really nice throwback to when you were younger and said, my legs are too long.
Yeah.
Like, well, now they make you the perfect model.
Yeah, no, model. Like I go to London and they think I'm a model. Like seriously, I was in Mango trying on this orange jumper jacket that I have now. And this lady walks in and she goes, where is that? And the lady's like, it's over there. She's like, I'm buying it. I don't even need to try it on. Where's size 14? And the lady's like, can you just stand here and like, we can just
model stuff and people
so we can just model stuff on you. It's like, whoa. I literally sold a jacket by just trying it on in the change room. She was just like, give me a size 14. I was like, do you, boo? Good for you, So yeah, when I went to London, I had a bit of a big head because I was just like, oh my God, are you a model? I was like, no, I'm a footy player. They're like,
well, you're a model now, so.
Well, before. My identity was footy player back in the days. I was so like, I'm a footy player.
Yeah.
When you're a sports person, you're like really stubborn with it.
Yeah.
But now, like, and then I walked back. I came back from Australia and I was just like, I'm a girl and I love fashion. I love fashion. I love heels. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, here we are. And I just get to do everything. And it's to tell young people that you can be anything you want. Like, don't just get stuck with, I'm a model, I'm a footy player, I'm a this. I'm everything that you want me to be. So
yeah, you can live lots of different lives as well throughout your life.
Yeah.
And multifaceted humans.
Period.
Oh, I love this.
What they call utility. We're utility babes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what they call it in footy terms. Utility.
I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal that from the footy and use it everywhere.
Yeah.
Now.
Amazing.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was so cool. It just, you're such a pleasure to chat with. I love it.
Nah, thank you.